What if you could boost revenues in your business by 90% by doing less? Yes, that's what we're talking about today, is actually simplifying to make more. This has been a huge concept at Saint and something that we've done a ton lately. I wanted to share it with you guys because what we have found has been pretty remarkable. We are making more, we're raising more, and having more success by literally doing and tracking less. So the backbone of this is going to be your sales and marketing funnel throughout your business. So when you go through sales and marketing in your business or in your department, etc., there's this huge emphasis always on bottlenecks and improving that funnel. And that is super important. I don't want to take away from that discussion. But what I've seen over and over lately and what we have found recently is that that can be overcomplicated. Why? Because there might be 3, there might be 10 steps in your funnel. And if each step of that, you're worried about certain types of conversions and doing too many things and managing too many numbers, what happens is you're managing so much that you're actually managing nothing, because the things that actually matter are getting lost in the shuffle of the things that are less valuable. So let's take social media, for instance. So there's many camps on social media, and 2 of the main camps are the extremists, meaning social media is the best. It's the only way to do it. Content marketing is the absolute best thing. It's this relationship and blah, 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 blah. And that is great. And that is very important. And there are great points on that side. However, the other end of the spectrum, the people that poo-poo social media, hey, it's a bunch of vanity BS. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't drive sales. It's too much effort for too little juice. Well, they also have a point too. But the reality is both sides have good points, but taking away the core of their message and finding that middle ground in this instance is the biggest value you can get from that. Let me tell you why. Because on this end of the spectrum, the group that's saying social media is a bunch of BS vanity metrics, well, they're right a big majority of the time. There's a simple way to improve that, though, is don't follow the BS vanity metrics. So if you have a social media coordinator or a social media manager, then the success for a post or an account or etc. is not necessarily how many likes or how many subscribers or how many followers you have. The reality is the goal is to generate sales on that the majority of the time. So if your goal is to generate sales through social media, it doesn't have to be more complicated than how many people booked a call or signed up for the newsletter or signed up for the next action or moved to the sales page, right? It's literally what action is the most important out of all those BS vanity metrics. So that simple identification of the number 1 metric has been a game changer for us, where we have reduced the noise of all the other crap that gets in the way of understanding the pieces of your funnel and drilling down on that one piece. In my own life, there's one example that stands out above all else on the personal side. So I played competitive hockey for about 20 years. We did different tournaments. We were state champions in high school. That was a really great experience. I loved hockey through and through. I played every position at different points. It was an amazing experience for me. My favorite position always, which might not be surprising, it was offense, and it was to score goals. My goal was to score goals, right? So I thought, coming from a defensive background, I thought that my quote unquote funnel in this instance was, because I was a defenseman for so many years prior, I thought it went like this: get the puck, beat the defenseman, and then beat the goalie to score a goal. I thought that was the process that I had to go to. So I learned all these moves. I had really good handles on the puck. I had all these little dipsy doodle maneuvers. And by the time I beat the defender, then I was ready to shoot on net and score a goal. And I was pretty successful. I had a pretty high shot goal percentage. My scoring rate was pretty high. But one day a coach sat down with me and he's like, "Nick, what are you doing? Cut the BS." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Remove the fireworks. Get rid of all the dipsy doodling and focus on scoring." And I'm like, I am focusing on scoring. I'm getting the puck, I'm beating the defender, and I'm taking a shot and scoring a high percentage of the time. He's like, "Why all the crap in the middle?" He's like, "Your one metric for success is goals, right? You're an offense. You need to drive goal scoring. You need to drive points, right? So if that's the case, and you have a higher percentage than average of goals scored per shots, meaning increase your shots on net because you score a higher percentage than the average person." So when I changed my mindset on that, it completely changed how I viewed my success. Now my goal was to put more shots on net because I was beating the goalie a good percentage of the time. So it wasn't about beating the defender first. They were just an annoying obstacle to get a shot on net. And once I increased my shots on net, my conversion, aka my goals scored, went up dramatically. That's where I started to see huge gains in my competitive hockey career of doing that, in doing different tournaments, etc. That mentality of shots on net and goals scored as the focus completely changed the game for me. So how do we apply this at Saint or at different companies that we've run? It's understanding that you do have a sales funnel, and you have a funnel from top to bottom of all the cold leads coming in the top, all the way down to completed sales and repurchases from the people that buy from you or convert, etc. So it's understanding the key metrics along the way and who's responsible for those. As far as team management goes, that means that each key number, each key metric is only owned by one person. And those key metrics cannot be owned by more than one person. Each person can have more than one key metric that they're responsible for, but each key metric can only have one responsible person for that. So in that, if you're not getting one thing converted or one thing's not getting completed, you know exactly who the conversation is with to either understand the issue of why that's not being completed or understand why they're having a personal shortcoming to achieve that number. And as a final piece of advice, I would say this, especially with your funnel, I would say the best metrics typically to track are going to be those that hand off to another department or another step. So let's take social media again. So if the goal and the metric that's being tracked is, let's say, sales calls, then the goal of that social media manager is to book those sales calls. And they have their own metric of what success looks like. The bar is at a certain level. But once those calls are booked, that's handed off to sales, right? So that metric is the turning point from one department or one effort to another. That's been hugely successful for us. Just wanted to share that with you guys. If you have questions, drop them below. But this has been a huge turning point in identifying the key drivers and removing all of the vanity metrics at different stages and understanding your funnel with actually just a handful or several numbers that are really truly the drivers, and handing those numbers to individuals to own so that one person's success is specifically defined by a key metric. That has simplified our management, that's simplified our process, that's simplified the business, and it has boosted sales and success ridiculously on our end. All right, I hope that helps you guys. Also, if a personal metric for you is how much passive income that you make on a regular basis, let's say monthly or yearly, then one of the biggest things for you is going to be becoming an accredited investor. There's so much to discuss on that, and there's so many nuances and benefits to being an accredited investor because you have access to literally the best deals in the entire market. We ended up making a video to help you drill down and understand what an accredited investor is, the benefits to being an accredited investor, and the value and opportunities that you have from being an accredited investor. So that video is going to pop up next to me now. Hit that link, check that out, and learn how you can add passive income to your life as you're improving your business and the other things, and make money while you're focusing on other parts of your life. What is an accredited investor? How do you become an accredited investor? Why should you become an accredited investor, and what are the benefits to being so?